This week, in honor of Halloween, of course, we'll be smoking and talking about the Tatuaje Halloween release series, which is, there's some interesting things about it. And I'm going to smoke the Michael. Joe Hollywood's going back in time to 2015. He's going to smoke the Hyde. Then we're going to talk about a couple things I'm looking forward to that I saw in the cigar news this week, and talk about our cigars of the week, which are pretty extensive. I review a lot of cigars from Warp Cigars, which came into a local shop here, which I'm very excited about. So stay tuned for all that and more on this edition of the Stogie Geeks Show. This is a Security Weekly production. Broadcasting live from Villiger North American Studios, it's the show where cigars burn slow, ashes fall fast, and cocktails flow steady. It's the Stogie Geeks Show. Hat tip, can we play that?
Yeah, one more time.
Can I hear a...
Yes!
Yeah!
Enjoy the dirt.
Guests and friends here in studio, including a regular cast of characters, Mr. Joe Hollywood to my right.
How are you?
That's awesome. Joe D's here. Rain Man's here. What's going on, Joe D?
Roundtable discussions.
Duran Premium Cigars, one of the fastest-growing boutique cigar companies, provides smokers a portal into the old Cuban tradition of the perfect balance and the lost art of progressive flavor construction. Roberto Pelayo Duran began his career in tobacco over 2 decades ago in Havana, where his reputation grew within Cuban circles. The creation of Duran Premium Cigars has given Roberto the platform to introduce a series of cigars that offer the quality and construction that he perfected while in Cuba. Brands include the ultra-premium Roberto P. Duran signature line, Azan, Nea, and Baracoa. Duran uses a seed-to-humidor approach, as all of their tobacco is grown in their farms and rolled in their factory in Esteli, Nicaragua. Rollers have been carefully chosen to carry out Roberto's precise method to ensure progressive flavor in each cigar. Duran Premium Cigars invites you to make their premium your standard. Havana Cigar Club, located in Warwick, Rhode Island, is a great place to enjoy a drink and a cigar. Stogie Geeks listeners can find a $5 off coupon on our website by clicking the HCC logo.
Welcome, everyone, to the Stogie Geeks Show. I'm your host, Paul Asadorian. Excited to be here on Halloween Eve and talk about Halloween cigars. Are we going to do is this a 2-segment show that we're doing, producers? I think we're going to split it. We're going to do one segment?
It was one, yep.
Okay, we're going to do one segment. Right, Joe Hollywood is here with me.
How are you?
For today's show. We're smoking Halloween cigars.
I know. I'm excited.
I am excited as well. So I'm smoking the new one, which this is my second one. And it's actually, well, I'll hold off on my assessment so that people stay tuned. But it's very interesting. I have to say in the past few years, I haven't really been all that wild or excited about some of the Halloween releases that have been out there. But I am smoking the Tatuaje, the Michael. And how about you, Joe?
I'm smoking the Tatuaje Hyde from 2015.
Mm-hmm. So I wanted to start because I hadn't really dug into the whole series of Tatuaje Halloween releases in a while. And I know that there's a lot of interesting facts about them. I know we can think in history about kind of like what we were doing when certain releases came about. I know in Stogie Geeks history, the Face was coming out just as we were starting Stogie Geeks. Just to kind of put that in perspective. Let me tell you a little bit about the Michael, the latest release. It's a 6.5 by 52 size cigar. It is Ecuadorian Habano wrapper and Nicaraguan binder and filler. Now, the way they do these releases, there's the dress boxes, which there's 666 dress boxes that are produced, each with 13 cigars in them. And then he does a limited number of other boxes that come in boxes of 10. I believe this one came out of a box of 10, and usually around 5,000. I'm not sure what the count was for the Michael. There was a dress box that was stolen, which is kind of interesting because he selects the 13 retailers then to carry the initial dress boxes. What does he call that? The list of stores. There's a name for that. This is escaping me at the moment. The unlucky 13. Sorry. So it's the unlucky 13 retailers that carry the dress box, which are really lucky 13 retailers to carry those because people they go gaga over these dress boxes, Joe.
That they do.
They love to have the dress box. I gave up collecting my dress boxes some time ago because I don't know. I wasn't as excited about it. Although I'm pretty excited. I'm kind of wishing I gotten a dress. I don't want to work that hard to get a. But I'm lazy, I guess is what I'm saying. I got
happens.
lazy.
Well, I think when it first comes out and then, the years pass and things, you just,
Yeah.
they're always coming out with them. But is there rumor that they're not doing them? Is this the final?
So Pete has gone on record and said that he's only doing 13 releases to kind of keep with his
The 13.
theme, right? Like
Yep.
all these numbers and things. And I think he's tired because in speaking with him and hearing interviews, like I just think he's gotten tired of the whole Halloween thing, like having to have a release come out in time for Halloween every year for 13 years to produce exactly 666 boxes that are dressed and then produce 5,000 or whatever boxes that 4,000 that aren't dressed and have that every year and start planning for the next releases as they come up. Like, I think anyone after doing that for 13 years would get really tired, right?
It's too much variable. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It's too many variables and all of that. The box, the dressings, the crop, the blends, where they are,
The whole thing.
how the season was,
Yeah, and I don't have the exact counts on how many of the Michael were produced. In the Kruger last year, there were 5,000 plain boxes of 10 cigars, which are still pretty readily available.
Yeah, I've noticed that over the years in the retail market.
They're more available now.
Right after Christmas time or whatever, January, February, when things kind of get a little slower, especially down here or up here, depending on where you're viewing. But you start to see the shops still have them. Before they used to blow out of them.
And now Halloween is such a short time. I mean, in the summer we started seeing the stores with Christmas decorations out.
Yep.
So like Halloween and Thanksgiving are completely like just blown away by Christmas. Just a little bit of history. Of course, we started with the Frank in 2008, and then every year following there was the Drac, the Face, the Wolfman, the Mummy, the JV13, the Jekyll, the Hyde. Last year was a Kruger. This year's a Michael, and then 2018. Then there'll be. They counted June 2014, the Chuck and the Tiff, and then the Bride is 2018 to come up with 13. Let's see how that was from Half Wheel, and then let's see with Coop, we got the Frank, the Drac, the Face, the Wolfman, the Mummy, the JV13, the Jekyll, the Hyde, the Kruger, the Michael, and the Bride is 11, and the Chuck and the Tiff, 12 and 13. So they're counting the Chuck and Tiff in there, which the Chuck was that Connecticut broadleaf wrapper. The Tiff was a Connecticut wrapper, and those were released. So then we get now. So those are the 13 full-size releases that we talk about, or 13 releases. The Bride being next year, and the Bride is not a reference to the Chucky movies. The Bride is a reference to the Bride of Frankenstein.
Really?
There was a note of clarification in one of the posts, because I thought, well, Chuck, Tiff, and the Bride, because the Bride of Chucky, I was just telling you, it's like one of my favorite horror movies. But it's actually the Bride of Frankenstein, which is interesting. And now we've had, in addition to the full monsters, right, there have been the little monsters. So Frank Jr., Little Track, Babyface, Wolfie, and Minnie Mum that were released in 2012, it looks like. So it's the little monsters, which were like Petite Corona almost. And then there was the pudgy monsters, which were Frank, Drac, Face, Wolf, Mummy, Jason, and Chuck and Tiff. And then there was the skinny monsters, which were Frank, Drac, Face, Wolf, Mummy, Jason, Jekyll, Hyde, Chuck, and Tiff in the skinny monsters. And then future releases, widespread releases, so you can buy boxes of these skinny monsters, Cazadors, and skinny monster Lanceros. You can buy full boxes of, and that's Frank through Tiff. I won't read through the whole list again. Frank through Tiff.
For the sake of the Stogie Geeks listener, are you going to post these somewhere?
Yeah, and so here's the thing. That's a good point. If you go to wiki.stogiegeeks.com, that's our wiki kind of show notes page that we keep, and you go to episode 249, I link to, there's a Half Wheel article, and there's a Cigar Coop article, both which contain information about all the Halloween releases. It's like their most recent posts on the Halloween releases. So you can go there and get the full information that we had there, so you can kind of wade your way through all of these releases. So there is rumor that after the 13 full releases that Pete's done with the full, 666 dress box thing, which I told you he's kind of sounded tired of, which I don't blame him by any stretch of the imagination. My guess is, and what people are thinking, and what I don't know if he alludes to it, but people kind of, I think, read into what he's thinking, that he says something like, well, there might be other projects, right? Like, I think we're going to see more things like skinny monsters, pudgy monsters, like different releases, taking one, making it more readily available in a different size, and work like that going on in association with these Halloween releases, which gives him, I think, a little more flexibility. He's not held to, hey, every year around this time there has to be a big, full cigar released and that kind of thing. So
yeah, and I'm sure it sounds like a daunting task.
yes,
For sure.
yes,
But,
yeah. You can see, one of my other things I linked to is a review of the Hide from Half Wheel, and they've of course got all the Halloween releases lined up, and they're all like tiny because the picture had to pan out so much to fit them all in one shot. So. And you're smoking the Hide, which had some really cool artwork on the. The Jekyll and the Hyde had some really cool artwork on the boxes.
Yep.
But the Hide is Ecuador and Sumatra with Nicaraguan binder and filler in a 7x49 Churchill, and that was released in 2015. So. I'm really digging this, Michael. I smoked one before the show, and I'm smoking this one now. I really like this one. I mean, this really kind of gets back to. Well, the Habano wrapper, I think, changed. That wrapper type is not found all too common throughout the series. The Jason was a Maduro. We had a Sumatra. And to get back to this Habano, it's a beautiful-looking wrapper. And it has that Nicaraguan twang, some nice raisin sweetness. I like this. This is my favorite monster release in some time. I'm really going to give this a high rating, I think. We'll see how I do it through my second one. But this thing is awesome, dude.
Yeah, this stick is obviously it's from the 2015, so it had some age on it, aging beautifully. I mean, I lit it up, and at first I definitely noticed, like, wow, it's
still got some punch to it.
It's still got some punch to it. It's great. It's a lot smoother now than I remember it, and maybe that's due to age. It's settling in really nicely, constructed nicely. Definitely digging this smoke. I don't think you'd be able to find these so much around, but you can pick up.
I'd be surprised.
It's a challenge. Depends on the volume of the smoke shop and stuff like that. But yeah, it's an excellent smoke. I've always been a fan of the brand. You know what I mean? I've always been a fan of the Tatuaje, Viaje. Always, I do smoke a lot of Viajes. I got some that are waiting for me in a shop. I just haven't gotten there yet. They finally got them in, and I was currently there about 2 weeks ago when I checked in. I says, usually this time they come, and
right.
He's like, they're about a week behind from the shop owner was a week behind, not Viaje. It's just tough to keep up with the certain stuff every time of year. You look at the calendar and you're like, oh my God, I gotta get on that,
Yeah.
So.
Now, I know, and we'll give you regular updates on our assessment of these cigars as we smoke them, but I know, Joe, you carry a lighter. Did you see what I did to my pants a minute ago? It's a nice ash stain right on my pants. It's awesome. That's what I get for wearing black pants.
I got a new lighter. I got a new lighter because my other one.
You got a new lighter?
Yeah.
What did you get?
It's like a.
It takes butane and it's got a torch on it.
It's a knockoff. It's a knockoff.
A knockoff.
I have no luck with lighters. I have zero luck with lighters. In fact, when I bought this one last week, I said to the shop owner, "I'm going to use this for a week and I'm not going to pay for it until it works." And lo and behold, this is the second one in a week because the little cap over here, when I went to fill it, popped off and broke. And I'm like, this is crazy. Like, I don't understand.
So what kind of? Let me see this.
It's a Hong Jing torch, right? Right.
So it's manufactured here in the U.S., of course.
Yeah, right. You know what I mean? I put it this way. I have Zykars that are still to be returned in 2 different shops.
Yeah.
They're going back and forth. Like, I just don't, and it's only been a week, and it's like, I don't know. I don't know. I have
It's a Hongjing torch.
I have zero luck with lighters. I did buy something like this before, this Vertigo.
Yeah.
A while. It lasted me, not this exact one, but the one here. This one lasted me probably about 9 months, you know.
Where is it?
But then they start, it's zero fluid, big reservoir, holds no fluid, 2 lights, it's done. It's terrible.
This thing?
Yeah.
Where does the fluid?
It goes into there, but you like.
Yeah, I can't see it.
Over there, at the
Yeah.
bottom. And it works, but you
It's a-
gotta.
What's this thing for? Is it like a punch or something?
Yeah, it's a punch.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
It's
just
the Hongjing.
this. I have zero luck with
Well,
lighters.
so I carry this Calibri.
How's that thing working?
Well, and so this I've carried this for a while now.
Yeah.
This blue Calibri. If we can just switch to my camera, that has it's a triple flame, and it has a. Oh, you gotta switch to my camera.
There we go.
Thank you. And then so there's a cutter, that folds in the back, and is a triple. You can't see the flame on camera, of course, but it's triple flame. Take my word for it.
Yeah.
And there's a new version of this called the Calibri Quantum, which instead of a straight cutter on it has that deep V cut.
Ooh, I'd be interested because
And they look really nice. Same triple flame. So I carry this in my pocket all the time. This is one my everyday carry. Mm-hmm. And it's nice because the cutter and the lighter are all in one. I don't have to worry about losing the cutter, and it fits nicely in my pocket. I carry one thing rather than two. But I really like that deep V cutter from Calibri, and the one that I had fell apart. Sorry, Calibri. But their new lighter that is debuting on the market with a lovely MSRP of $175. So for $175, you can have the triple flame lighter and the deep V cutter all in one. And it doesn't fold out like this one. It actually slides out. There's a link in the show notes to it. This is a news release that I picked up from Coop, and so I really want one. I think 175 is it's kind of steep.
for lighter.
It's a lighter and a cutter. That's why I think the price point is so high, because their deep V cutter is pretty expensive, and I think this one retails for like $80. So putting them both together in one package is nice. I don't know how much bigger and heavier it is than this. I mean, this is a little heavy, but not too bad. So I don't know. I'm thinking about maybe switch. 175 is a lot, though.
Yeah, for my track record with lighters,
Yeah, you should not spend anywhere near that.
I don't understand what it is, and some of the Stogie. When I did a lighter episode, I think you were not here. I did a lighter episode, and I got a lot of feedback from Stogie Geeks listeners who were telling me, different things, keeping them clean and all that. I'm like, yeah, and when you put the butane in, don't light it right away. I've even taken the liberty, and it seemed to work and drag it out, but I had zero luck with lighters. I'm so always though for years. You know what I mean? It's been over 18 years. Yeah, here.
Maybe you should try one of these. But I forget what they call the older one. I forget what this one's called. There's a name for this one though. You should look these up. Get one of these.
Is it working?
This one has worked reliably.
How's the reservoir too? Because what I noticed is that
it does hold a fair amount. It actually burns really clean.
But when there's
this lighter.
combos, I noticed that it takes into the reservoir channel, I guess.
I've had pretty good luck with this staying. I'm not refilling this like every other day.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have had really good. You can see it's got a lot of scratches on the finish and stuff because I keep it in my pocket all the time. But I've had really good luck with this one, and I've carried it for almost 2 years. It might be going on 2 years now.
Oh, wow.
I've carried this as my everyday carry. It's 2 years I've had this. So that's a pretty good track record for everything still to be working and something I carry every day, and then a lighter and a cutter.
And you said it was $80?
I think these sell for around $80.
$80, and if I can get it to last a year, I'd be pumped.
So check those out. Maybe I'll sell you my old one and go buy the new one.
I don't know. It is heavier though.
It is pretty heavy to carry with you every day. That's one of the drawbacks.
See, I would never use the guillotine. I'm not a guillotine if I can avoid it.
I use that cutter all the time.
If I can avoid it, but I don't know.
Anyways, the other announcement I want to mention before we get into our Stogies of the Week, Davidoff Year of the Dog has been announced. And it's one of those yearly releases that the past few I haven't been really too big on. It's like a $39 cigar that they're bringing to market. It's the 2018 limited edition. This year's will be Habano Ecuador Claro wrapper, Dominican San Vicente Seco, and a bunch of other fillers from Dominican and Nicaragua. It's a 7x50 Churchill size this year. This follows, of course, the dragon, snake, horse, sheep, monkey, rooster, and now the dog. So
It'll probably be worth every penny.
We'll see. We'll
No,
see.
I'm serious. They're phenomenal smokes when they they're
I've
definitely
liked a lot of their limiteds like that, but they haven't really wowed me.
not even smoothness.
Their other releases are great.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but this regular Chinese New Year kind of release series they got going on, I don't know. Maybe the year of the dog will do it. We'll have to get some and smoke them. Be the judge. All right, Joe. I've been talking way too much.
No, I like it. But anything else happening that you're getting excited
That
about?
was the only two things really that I got excited. I actually this week read some of the Half Wheel and Cigar Coop put out like a weekly newsletter that pretty nicely, and there's a lot of overlap between, but they pretty nicely outline what happened this week. And I just took a couple of things from that I was excited about, because I think a lot of times I see things in the industry happening, I'm like, oh, I'm excited about this, and I don't talk about them on the show. So those are the only really two things that got me excited. So.
Yeah. Fascinating week, I guess. It's a fascinating industry, for sure.
It is, and I like to see new stuff coming out.
A lot of collaboration.
A lot of collaborations. Have you noticed that too?
Well, I
saw
said
that.
this.
We'll talk about one. There's a collaboration.
I said this around May, like on the theme. When I think, like I've when I started either hosting or co-hosting here, I was seeing a lot of collaborations come out. Some of them I think have been really good, and some of them I think they might have been pushed out. Maybe we can do a show. Once this, because I've heard that there's about 4 more coming out. So that's 7 off the top of my head that I know of within the past 90-day window.
Interesting.
Some big brands, and from my perspective, it's brands that I thought that wouldn't get together for various reasons, because they're in different markets. But I think collaborations work neat, because it exposes each other's target audience to their sticks.
Right.
You know
Did you do any collaborations this week?
Not off the top of my head. No.
Okay. I did. Did you want me to do my collaboration while we're on the subject?
Yeah, go for it. Right,
So I did the Futuro collaboration between Warped and Casa Fernandez. It's a take on the future as blended by Kyle Gellis of Warped and Max Fernandez of Casa Fernandez, utilizing rare tobaccos from Aganorsa's vault. That's from the Warped Cigars website. Cigar Coop did a review on it, actually. This was done in 2015. And the reason we're going to throw out 4 different Warped cigars, because they came into one of my local shops, and I really like Warped cigars, and I had actually forgotten about them because they're not in any stores around here, and I hadn't gone back online and purchased some. And to be quite honest, some of the construction was a little iffy on the ones that I ordered online. So when you put those two factors together, I didn't go seek them out, because if you get something that doesn't have good construction from an online retailer, you can't really return it. I mean, I'm sure there are some online places that might do that, but it's a hassle. If they're from a shop, if it's bad, I can be like, guys, like the construction was bad, I can take it back to the shop, and it's a little easier. Thankfully, they've fixed some of these construction issues, because I've had very few. I did have one, but I've had very few construction issues with the ones that I've smoked. So I was happy to see these smoking, because some of them are really awesome and will probably make their way into my regular smoking rotation. So the Futuro is Nicaraguan Corojo 99, Nicaraguan Criollo 98, Nicaraguan for the binder. The wrapper is Nicaraguan Criollo 99, and the filler is Nicaraguan Criollo 98 and Corojo 99. And it came in 2 sizes: the Suprema, which was Kyle Gellis' size, and Max Fernandez size is the Selection 109, a 6x52. The Selection Suprema is a 5 5/8 by 46, which is a really nice size to smoke. And it was a joint venture between the two. Nothing really to note. 2 sizes. And I really like this cigar. Let's see what Coop gave it for. It was a different size. He called this one a 5er, and I thought this one was good. I didn't think it was well balanced or had as much flavor as some of the other Warped releases. Not to make a comparison, but I thought it was an okay cigar. I agree with Coop's assessment that this is a 5er. It's not one that makes me kind of really excited. There's a lot more exciting things, I think, in the Warped line, and some other cigars I smoked recently that probably stand out a little more.
Yeah, I was looking. Yeah, I didn't do any collaborations at all this week. Drew Estate, I had the Kentucky Fire Cured Swamp Thing.
What is? Oh, this
That's
is
the
the
Candela. It's got the
Candela.
Kentucky, the Candela wrapper with the it's got the Candela wrapper with the Kentucky Fire Cured binder and filler inside.
Okay.
There, it's available in 3 different sizes. I had the Swamp Thing Robusto 6x54. I also had the Toro 6x52. The wrapper, as I said, was Candela. The binder and filler is from that Kentucky Fire Cured tobacco. Good cigar, if you're a cigar smoker, has to be smoked at the right time because of the blend, right?
That fire cured is very, very.
It smokes
distinct.
It's distinct. It's got very pipe-esque on the palate,
I
right?
agree.
When I had a first one, I had it at an event. Okay, sure, I had the Robusto. Then I ended up buying the Toro, and I says, I just threw it in the humidor. I bought the Toro and whatnot, and I had the Toro Saturday morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, golfing with friends. So, like I said,
That'll wake your palate up first thing in the morning.
well, yeah, because it was like one of those things where, like I said, different cigar has to be done at the right time. If you're, it's just truly unique. I want something different, because normally if you're golfing that early in the morning, you go to something lighter. Obviously, and I was like, let me try it. It was very, very good in the morning. It was good with coffee. It was good. I really enjoyed it. It's just a unique type of stick for sure. I could see where they get the whole swamp thing from, because at the end it gets kind of swampy from the Candela wrapper and whatnot. It constructed well, great stick. I gave it a 5 again, just because you gotta. You wouldn't have, say, a Connecticut and then go to a Swamp Thing or vice versa. I knew I was going to probably do 1 stick per 9, and so it was a morning there and did that. So it was a good stick. I gave it a 5.
Nice. I smoked all kinds. La Aurora Reserva Especial 2008. Have you smoked this yet?
La Aurora Reserva Especial to 2008. Is there a picture? I did La Roma de Cuba. I'm sorry. No, I didn't. No.
So this came in next door. They had a limited amount of boxes at Havana Cigar Club, 10-count boxes. This was released at the 2017 IPCPR trade show. They are 500 boxes total, and they're $27 per cigar. It's an Ecuadorian Sumatra wrapper, Ecuadorian Sumatra binder. The filler is Brazilian, Nicaraguan, Chibao Valley, Dominican. And it's a 6 1/4 by 52 torpedo. It is the latest limited release to hit the shelves from La Aurora. This was a strong. I thought it was a stronger offering from La Aurora than you would typically find.
Is that next door?
They might be sold out. I have some. I'll give you some to review. I thought it was good. It didn't. I don't know. It didn't blow me away. I wasn't immediately like, oh my god, this is a cigar I'm gonna love. Like I have to get more. But I did enjoy smoking it. I thought that some of the experience was like it felt like really the strength was kind of throwing me off. I mean, not that it was overly strong, like I couldn't deal with it and I got sick and had to go to the bathroom. But I enjoyed it. I felt like maybe it needed a little more time to settle down. Although La Aurora is not really like that's what the cigar is. But I don't know. I feel like it was something I wanted to revisit after a couple of months, maybe to let that strength meter come down. But I did think it was good. I would say right now it's probably a 5, but something I want to revisit as I only smoked one.
That was limited in boxes. Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yep. I remember of the blend coming out there too. Yeah. You ever heard of a cigar company called Nat Chico?
No.
Nat Chico. I've been into these things and
Nat Chico.
I know. I've been into these.
It's a very strange name for a cigar company.
It's a very strange name, and I had the HHB Super Premium. This is a Ecuadorian-grown Connecticut shade leaf wrapper with Nicaraguan binder and filler. And I don't know. I don't know what it is. I like this cigar. You know, I've talked about a Nat Chico a couple episodes back got a lot of email feedback as
Yeah.
well. Like they were like, can you email me a link or something like that. The Nat Chico cigars. You can go to natchico.com, NATCICCO. There, and they got a bunch of cigars. I'm just getting into the brand. It's I don't know. It's pretty. It's I like it. Bunch of leather flavor right off the bat. You get some good pepper flavors for sure with this stick, and
when I search for Nat Chico, I get like lotion, like baby lotion, baby bottles, and
Really?
Chico strollers, which is a brand of
Really?
baby stroller. Yeah.
really, yeah, I don't know.
I think I have to say Nat Chico cigars to get
Probably, yeah.
to get the right results.
And like I
Yeah,
said,
there we go. Nat Chico cigars.
Yeah, it just I don't know. I've came across them right after IPCPR this year. Came across, got a bunch of samples from a local tobacconist, and who gave them a bunch of samples at the show, and I've been really into them.
Now, are they carried here locally now?
Not that I know of yet.
Okay.
No, I've been trying to get one of the retailers to, I'm saying, like, you should really consider getting this blend.
And which line did you smoke?
Okay, I smoked the anniversary. Well, in today's Stogie Geeks or in total.
In today's.
In today's, the HHB Super Premium. Right, but I've also had from their line the Anniversario 1965 Liga number 4.
Yep, I see that on their website.
And I've had the Jamaican Rounds there. And then they've had a bunch called the Rejects, and these are like factory seconds and whatnot. I didn't get my hands on those, but I only got my hands on 3 of the 6 blends that they have. And, the HBB Super Premium cigar is available in 3 different sizes. It's a really good stick. I love it. I had it Friday night, and like I said, I get a bunch of leather, a little bit of cocoa-ness. It starts off creamy and then kicks in, as opposed to sometimes where it starts off like stronger and then kind of fades out. It just kind of kicks in. If you come across them, then definitely give them a try. Ratings wise, if you can find them, I actually gave them a box split, because I like them. I really get into the blends. I don't know.
It looks like shape wise, looks like and band wise, almost like a Bahique.
Yep.
Is that? It sounds like that's what they were going for.
Maybe there's some drama around that the Anniversario 1965 Liga number 4. If you find it there's a couple of major tobacco retailers that are upset because of the combined lingo. That one.
Yeah.
It's causing some things, so they might have to change that name
because they're using Liga.
Liga and Anniversario, and which
Right.
I don't know if it's a anniversary. I mean, let's
Yeah.
But I like them. I'm a fan of the brand. None of the tobacconists that I talked to are brave enough to bring it in, but they had a presence over at the IPCPR trade show, and they're popular somewhere because it's not cheap to get in that show. So
Right.
they're doing something right, I think. But I give them a box split.
Nice. Now, the rest of my cigars come from Warped Cigars, and that's really just because what I chose to smoke this week. Kyle's been on the show before. Kyle, you're welcome. We're going to talk about some of Kyle's cigars, which, again, I fell in love with a while ago, and they fell off my radar, and I was happy to see them carried in a local shop, which goes to show you the power of retail today still, because we did a couple episodes ago, we talked about online, so it's good to see that the lines and customers and retailers can still thrive in today's very much online world. So one of my favorite blends from Kyle is the La Colmena. I spelled it wrong on the show notes. It's Colmena, Colmena, and it's Spanish for the beehive, inspired by the elusive cigars from the mysterious island we all know is so close, yet so far. The La Colmena beehive, is blended in old tradition Cuban methods, featuring entubado bunching, Cuban triple cap, and historic Cuban covered foot, all rolled by true Category 9 rollers, all hailing from Cuba. It's made in the El Titan de Bronze factory. It is an Ecuadorian de Florada wrapper, Nicaraguan and Dominican filler, and an Ecuadorian binder. It's medium-bodied. I smoked the Amado number 44, which I had exactly what that was. Is a Corona Extra size, 5.5 by 44 in 10 count boxes, I believe. This is just awesome morning smoke. It could very well be one of my go-to morning smokes, as it's just the perfect balance of sweetness. Awesome medium-bodied, perfect morning smoke in my opinion. A lot of nice flavors, good sweetness. It's almost got that Connecticut-like smooth and silkiness to it, creamy, I should say. I really like these. I would say most definitely in the few that I smoked, box worthy. Although I can see that rating going up from there, but this is a box worthy, hands down, for me. Coop actually reviewed this one, and I believe he rated all these box worthy. I think of all the warped ones that I was kind of searching for reviews on. All got great reviews. I think he smoked a different size. He's at box split. I'm going in the size I smoked, the 44 box worthy by Warp Cigars.
Are they making a
I gave you
presence
one.
locally? Oh, no, I know you did.
Yeah,
No,
at Mr. J's.
Okay. Yep.
I walked in and I'm like, oh God, you got some in. That's awesome. So he used a couple of different factories in there. So we'll talk about those as we go on.
Okay. I had a La Aroma de Cuba Edición Especial. Size I had was Gordo, 5 by 7 by 55. Ecuadorian Sumatra wrapper, binder and filler on Nicaraguan. Complexity, scale of 1 to 10, I gave it a 7. Flavor, kind of gave it a 6. Had that old, La Aroma de Cuba tends to have that older tobacco, straight tobacco. There's no, I don't want to say newer nuances that are relevant in a lot of the Nicaraguan stuff. It's just they kind of stuck to the original traditional flavor, in my opinion. There balance, I gave it a 7. It's available in 7 different sizes, but 2 of them are different size Coronas, right? Over there, it's on the show notes on the wiki page. Cigar, I said, has a fuller body. It's got some earth, a little bit of. I started to try to pick out the chocolate. I didn't really get it too much there, but the second half settled right in. Then it got creamy, and then cedar points towards the end. It levels right out. They said it was a full-bodied stick on the site. I'd go with it with it's a medium. I gave it a 5. In that, it's definitely a good stick to have and then to check it out. But it's every once in a while I like to go. We smoke some of the new stuff, and the collaboration stuff will have those new nuances that I'm trying to pick out when we smoke them. This kind of goes to an old classic.
Nice.
I think. Did you ever have it? Aroma de Cuba.
I've had the Aroma de Cuba, not
Edition Especial.
I don't know if I've had the Edition
At the end,
Especial.
it's got the traditional Aroma de Cuba label, and then underneath it's just got the EE for the Edition Especial.
Oh yeah, no, I have had that. Yeah, those are good. Those are good.
Yeah. So they're pretty good. I like them. I was surprised that the Gordo size was 55 ring. Because when I thought I was originally smoking the Churchill, and then when I did some research, I said, oh no, I'm smoking a Gordo. That's weird. But yeah, so that's what I gave it. I gave it a 5.
Awesome. I smoked, again from Warp Cigars, the Maestro de Tiempo, Master of Time, which according to the website is a culmination of years of blend tasting and improvements for this marca. Several years in scouring the depths of Arganosa through their vast lineage and regions, farms, and lots to make this blend happen. You need to master time to create the ideal cigar, and this is living proof. I smoked the 6 in 3. It's by 42. This comes from Casa Fernandez, so El Titan de Bronze, Casa Fernandez, 2 different factories there. The wrapper is Nicaraguan Jalapa Corojo 99. The filler is Nicaraguan Corojo 99 and Criollo 98. The binder is listed as just Nicaraguan. And this was a good cigar. The size was pretty awesome. It's got a little more punch than the La Colmena. And a different flavor profile. It's not that creaminess that you get from the La Colmena. It's got a good little touch of spice, a little bit of earthiness. I really like it. I would call this a box split, in my opinion.
What's the blend profile? Did you go through that already?
I did.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I did. It's okay. Yeah, Coop called it box worthy. I would call it box split. This is a good cigar. He reviewed a different size, though. I'll have to try some of the different sizes. Mine was almost like it was a Lonsdale size. Yeah, 6 3/8 by 42.
Mm-hmm.
So almost, when you call it a Lonsdale, that could be a Lancero as well, in my opinion.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I was actually calling it a Lancero when I was looking at it, so it was good. Box split on the Maestro de Tiempo from Warp Cigars.
Caldwell. I had The King is Dead. The size I had was the Broken Sword. It is 5 by 40. You have wrapper is Dominican Negrito.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're getting there.
Good job, Joe.
Binder filler is Dominican. Ooh, that was easy. Right. Complexity, scale of 1 to 10. I gave it an 8. Flavor, gave it an 8. Balance, I gave it a 7. It's a really good stick. It's available in 4 different sizes. Love the names of them. They have the Premier, the Last Payday, the Broken Sword, and the Supreme. Lots of wood and oak strength. Classic medium all day. It's a medium-bodied stick. Draw is perfect. Complexity, I think it's spot on with this from the Caldwell series. There, I really like it. Creamy and cocoa, love it. Good stick. I did give it a box split. I gave it a box split. That was the Caldwell. The King is Dead. Starting to get into that to that brand a little bit more. Or I should say I'm starting to revisit that brand a little bit more there as well. So,
sorry, I lost it. So I did also from the final one from Warp Cigars for today's Corto, which is Spanish for short, is the first full-bodied blend to be produced by Warp. And this one's unique because each year at IPCPR, they release a new size of this cigar in a slightly different blend. In the previous year is retired. I don't know if it's a different blend, but it's definitely a different size. And the previous one is retired. I had the X50, which is a 4.5 by 50. This is, again, from the Casa Fernandez factory, and it is a Nicaraguan wrapper, binder, and filler. This is a little stronger offering. Very, very good. This one would be box worthy, in my opinion. It's got a good flavor to it. It's got a nice balance as well. It's a little stronger, but you still get a ton of flavor from it. I really, really liked it. I'm calling it a great size, too. It's a slight box press on that Robusto. Kind of reminds me of some Cuban sizes that have that slight box press. And I thought it was really good. So
you really got into the Warp this week.
I did. Well, I had a smattering of 4 different sizes, so I just kind of started working my way through all of them this week.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I got into the Caldwell. I had the Eastern Standard Midnight Express. You ever have that one?
Mm-mm.
It's the size I had was a Toro 6 by 52. The wrapper is Connecticut. The binder is Dominican Habano. The filler is Dominican with Criollo 98 and Nicaraguan Habano.
Criollo, huh?
Is that right?
Is that like Joho, like Criollo?
Oh, did I screw that up again?
Criollo.
Criollo. I was getting close, right? Spanish class.
Criollo is something different down there in Nicaragua or Dominican.
Paul's going to send me to Spanish class coming up. Complexity, balance, and flavor, 8s all across the board. Just a really, really great balanced stick. It's available in 4 different sizes. Let me tell you, it doesn't have a ton of sweetness, but once it's lit and you get it going, you get really that oak and pepper, but not in your face pepper. It's just really, really tasty. It's the same. What did they switch? They switched the wrapper from. It's the same binder and filler from the Caldwell Eastern Standard, but they switched the wrapper that was on the Caldwell Last Czar, which was from their limited edition release in 2015. I've only had one
They
last.
switch it to the Criollo.
Yeah, no, yeah, right, exactly.
When you go to Nicaragua or the Dominican Republic, don't be coming back saying, I got some nice Criollos.
They're gonna
Don't pick up any Criollos, Joe, when you go down there.
They're gonna escort me out of the country. You know, if you can't pronounce our blends, you're out, right? I don't think they would want an Italian kid in Nicaragua.
Especially when they say, hey, you got any Criollos?
Yo, man, you got some of those Criollo sticks. I like them.
You have girls coming up to your room. We brought you the Criollos, Joe.
It's the wrong podcast. Right? I gave this a 5, but I had another one as the second half of Sunday when I golfed again, and I don't know. I would rate it above a 5. Like I'm getting into the Caldwells now. You know, starting to get into the goals. Eastern Standards, I'm kind of, you know, I'm like
After 5 box split.
Yeah, so
Would you go a full box split? If it's a 25 count, it's like 12 and a half.
Right. Yeah, I would give it. I guess I would keep it a 5 then. You know, I don't know.
I mean, you could go 10 count, but that's only really 2.5 less.
I'm gonna rate it 2 5s. Right?
It's a double 5.
Double 5 for the Criollos, right?
That's the name of the episode. It's a double 5.
All right.
FIVAH. It's a 5.
I did have one more.
Okay.
All right, I did have one more because you said you were done, right?
I am in fact done for today.
You're done. I did have one more. There is this small boutique little distributor in Oak Cliff, Texas, that has some pretty neat cigars that I'm starting to get into. Again, he was at the IPCPR. I was able to get some of the samples. I had the La Bella Otero. So Otero, La Bella Otero. Posted it on the wiki site. I had the Robusto Grand, which is a 5 1/4 by 56. The wrapper is Habano Risotto, binder and filler, Nicaragua.
Risotto?
I'm freaking.
You said risotto.
Did I? I can't.
It's Criollo. It's a Criollo risotto.
That's because you got a new espresso machine right here. And
That's espresso machine. There's no X in there either.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
There's something wrong with me. There's something wrong with me, right? Right? I could be
Criollo risotto.
I could be a little punch drunk from Thursday, but I doubt it. But anyway, right?
Criollo risotto. That's so awesome.
It has a Habano
I just lost one side of my head.
Risotto.
Risotto, not
Yeah,
risotto.
risotto.
Not
I got it.
risotto
I'm
is
reading-
something totally different.
I'm reading too fast. Right? I'm reading too fast. Right? It's on the notes. It's spelled right. I promise. Right? If you go to wiki.stogiegeeks.com, you'll be able to check it out. Or stogiegeeks.com. Click on Stogies.
I'll put a great risotto recipe.
It's up there. Wow, I'm getting smashed today. All right? We need to start drinking. We did
it. We did so good right up until the end.
We're done here. It's a great stick. Check it out. All right?
Pairs great with risotto.
It's wicked good. I gave it a box split, so you might want to throw it in the Google.
Is Criollo like the tool that they use when they do farming?
Wow.
Nicaragua?
It's wicked awesome. If you want to know where it is, right? We have a guest next week. You're gonna pick on him.
God, we have a guest next week.
You're gonna pick on him. You're gonna right. What are you gonna do?
Who is our guest next week?
Crux Cigars and all that's new that's happening with them and
I haven't smoked their stuff in a while. We should try and get some before we interview him. I got to revisit. He makes some really good cigars.
Yes, and they had a rep in the area. You know, it's amazing. You know, when you talk about like the retail support, right? How they have a rep in the area. There's cigars in the area. Something happens business wise, consolidation, ripping, whatever. And then if there's no rep, cigars go down. And that's what's happened here in the Providence metro area with some of those blends. It's amazing.
It is amazing. Hand selling, definitely.
It's and you know, it's so important from from a business perspective. You know what I mean? Like they need to do that, and you know, looking forward to having some of the new stuff. There's a retail shop in Fall River that had gotten some of the newer stuff out there. I haven't got into it yet. I have a bunch of stuff waiting for me when I get out there. I just you know, I'll see if I can pick some up for sure for the show.
My Tatuaje, the Michael, is just smoking awesome. It just kind of, it reminds me of some of the older releases from Tatuaje that I really, really like. Not so much in flavor profile-wise, because I think it does stand out in the line, in my opinion. But it's right up there with like the RC 184. It's up there with some of the Cabaguan stuff, like a lot of that stuff that is really good that not many people talk about now. Like this is taking me back to some of those earlier Tatuaje releases that are still available today, but just were released a while ago. I really like it. I would call this a box worthy, in my opinion. In fact, this may be one of the few of recent times, one of the few that I'll actually buy a box of if they're still available. I gotta imagine that this release is going to be very popular. And this is one we're not going to see sitting on retailer shelves, is my prediction, because it's friggin' awesome.
Yeah, definitely. This here.
That's the Hyde.
Yeah, the
from
Hyde.
2015.
I'm getting just a smooth, awesome leather component from this stick. Well balanced. Loving every minute of it. Box worthy all day if you can find them. You know, all day. It's just a great smoke. I think they're available in 10-count boxes, if I'm not
Yes, they are.
mistaken.
Yeah,
Yep.
all of the, well, I shouldn't say all.
Most of them. I'm playing the statistical game here.
Yeah, we could go back and
Yeah.
I could read it all to you, but
Yeah, they're available. They're 10-count.
10-count.
You know,
but like the Frank was only 666 dress boxes of 13 cigars, and then the Drac was only that 13 cigars. It wasn't until the Face that they started really. I remember this now. It wasn't until the Face they started releasing. They released 1,300 plain boxes of 10 cigars, and then as interesting as you get into the later releases, they're up to 5,000 of the Kruger plain box releases. So they increased the amount of cigars that are released in a limited fashion for the Monster series, which is interesting. That's pretty cool. I had never looked at those numbers like that before. They went from around 8,658 of the Frank total cigars released up into the more recent ones are above 50,000. So that's a huge increase, making these releases more. I remember the Face being really hard to get. In fact, I might still have a couple kicking around in my humidor.
Yeah.
Should have smoked those. Maybe next Halloween we'll go back.
your next episode will be episode 250.
That's right. We should do something special.
It's a milestone for you. That's good.
I should have worn my Halloween costume. I'm a hot dog. I don't know if you saw that on Facebook.
I did.
I am, in fact, a hot dog. I wish I was going to wear it for the show, which would have been hilarious. We lost power here in Rhode Island.
Yes,
so
there's
the morning
certainly-
I was spent setting up my generator so that
Yes.
my fridge didn't spoil and food in
Yes,
it.
I couldn't check my morning email until I came to Stogie Geeks, which had power.
Thankfully, we had power. We're able to do a show today. Thank you, everyone, for listening and watching. That's the Stogie Geeks for today. Take care, everyone.